I'm here with Jason Pollack, who's the franchisor for Jim's Pool Care on the central coast of New South Wales and also extending north to Newcastle and Port Stephens. Jason, how are you today?
Good, thanks, Tony. Yourself?
Mate, I'm doing really well, thanks. Thank you for doing this. I wanted to have a little chat about different personalities within the Jim's Pool Care business, find a little bit out about their story, where they've come from, why they decided to get into Jim's Pool Care. So first and foremost, how long have you been with Jim's Pool Care for?
4.5 years now.
Yeah, wow. And what did you do prior to coming to Jim's Pool Care?
I was in the police.
Okay. And what prompted
Yes.
you then to make the decision to come towards Jim's Pool Care?
A couple of things. So when I was younger and I left school, I worked for my parents' business, and then I branched out and actually worked for myself for a little while and absolutely loved it. Made great money, but I always had that little itch to kick off the little career goals. I wanted to be a policeman since I was 5. So I thought, no, it's time to grow up and go off and achieve that. And then, just without going into too much personal reasons, but that doing that sort of job every day takes a toll on someone's physical and especially their mental health. So a lot of decisions in relation to my mental health steered me to look at something different. And I didn't want to go work for someone, especially coming from that sort of background. It's hard to sort of take orders and that sort of stuff. So I wanted to work for myself. And prior to doing the career change, I'd actually looked at a competitor's franchise in the pool industry. So I already had a little taste of it, but I said, no, let's do the whole career thing first. So left that. Not only that, I got sick of working weekends. I got sick of working night shift. It's such an unhealthy way to live. And then when I was looking at getting out, so I looked around a bit and come across Jim's, and I thought, wow, Jim's does pool care. I didn't even think that. And that's one of the struggles we have, is a lot of people still don't know that. But I decided to look at Jim's because I liked the model, and here I am today.
And so why pool care specifically? Because Jim's has 52 divisions, and so you could have done, lawn mowing or dog washing or cleaning, etc. Why pool care specifically?
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of different divisions, and I did honestly look at a couple of other divisions, but pushing mowers and hedging and climbing on roofs is definitely something that I don't do. I can't do. Um, so things that I just couldn't see myself doing day to day. Pools, I love water. I love swimming, and I grew up with a pool, so I knew what a pool in the backyard does for a family. Memories, the kids have a ball. But I also knew how important it was for that pool to be safe for them. So there was a bit of a keen interest there to do the right thing. But just spending your day by the pool in summer around waters just ticked the box for me. And then I went out and did my day on the road just to trial it out with the franchisor, and fell in love straight away.
Fantastic. So how difficult was it for you to make that decision to go from employment, the security of having a wage come in, to then being self-employed?
It's a massive decision. I was on really good money, and it gave you that safety net and security behind yourself, going, I've got a full-time job, I get annual leave, my super gets paid, and I'm on good dollars, and I'm going to go from that to basically, well, in my particular case, was zero, because when I looked at buying the franchise, there wasn't anyone else on the Central Coast where I am. So I was pretty much the face of Jim's for this whole bottom end of the region. And it was nerve-wracking, and it was a hard decision, but, I had a goal in mind, and I thought, well, I'm the sort of person where if I'm going to put something in, I'm going to put 100%, and I've made the leap now, and let's get stuck into it. And I think that's what encourages a lot of people to build their business quick, because they want to get that returned income. it is a scary thought, but I tell you what, I should have done it 10 years ago.
Fantastic. How were you on day one? So you've made the decision, you've signed up, you've invested in your business. On day one, how did you feel?
Very nervous. There's probably there's probably other words I'd use, to be honest, but probably not appropriate.
We can always edit that
Um,
stuff out.
but honestly, I remember going up, signed the paperwork, and got in my new little van and was heading down the freeway. And my franchisor had actually set up a couple of leads for me to start off with, which was great, because I still had a bit of time to wait for my initial mail out to hit the mailboxes. So I knew that, I had something to start with. And I remember driving down the freeway. To this day, it is so clear in my brain. And I thought to myself, Jesus, what have I done? Like, seriously, I've gone from earning near 100K to, I don't know how I'm going to put food on the table tomorrow. In saying that, though, I did have some money tucked away behind me. So I did have like a back four in case it did go bad or not as good as what I expected. And that's something I encourage people to have when they start, is you've got to have some capital behind yourself. But to be honest, Tone, when I was driving down the freeway and I had that little moment in my head, what on earth have I done? I trusted my franchisor, and I looked at the system. I did a lot of research, discussed some figures, and I think with the training that I received and the passion that my franchisor had at the time to help me be successful, just pushed that out the door. And then I got to my first lead, and mate, the rest is just history.
Well done. So let's talk about the training side of things. So what type of training did you get back then when you first came into your pool care business?
Yeah, so first up, I was sent down to gyms for 3 days training in Melbourne. That was a really good experience, a very positive experience too, because being part of the gyms group, it makes it unique in a sense that you're buying a division, so you're going into pool care, but you're also part of the gyms group. So they separate the training so that you've got to learn the gym system, you've got to learn, customer service, all that way, and basically what Jim wants and has built his great business on. So 3 days down there, great place. Oh, the beds, I don't know if you've stayed down there, but the beds are the best beds in the country. And I think everyone will tell you that. And the food's just immaculate. But it was very, very intense mentally to take it all in. But it was great training. So we did that, flew back up, and pretty much, I think I flew back up on the Wednesday, Thursday, maybe. It was a little while ago now. And then Monday, pretty much straight in the van, 10 days on the road, really intense training. And the funny part about that is the guy who trained me was my franchisor's son, who's actually one of my franchisees now. So it's quite funny. We have a joke about it occasionally. So 10 days out on the road, and then basically I was set free to start growing, taking leads, start doing some services, stuff like that. Then I enrolled straight away to the Cert Iii because I wanted to be more of a professional.
What is the Cert Iii? Just for those who are watching, what's the Cert Iii?
So it's a Cert Iii in swimming pool and spa care. They used to call it care. I think it's now service. So that goes in to teach you more in-depth water chemistry, health standards, correct plumbing, very much in depth of the more professional side of pool care. So, you've got your people who are classified as pool cleaners, so they'll go out and clean your pool, but then you have a service side and a tech side of that. So it teaches you all that technical stuff. So basically a lot of knowledge I think I'd done that in correspondence in 6 months back then. But it was the best thing I did. to be honest. It's very knowledgeable. Why that's going on, I was on the nurture system that we still currently have. So in the nurture system, it's got another area where there's constant emails coming through and little targets to meet, little training things that you need to tick off. And the franchisor was always there in the background watching and talking. So there was so much going on. At one point, I felt very overwhelmed, but it's basically got me and my business to where I am today. It's great training. I was absolutely shocked. Whereas my other businesses that I did research was pretty much a couple of weeks, here's your keys, see you later. And that's why I chose the gyms.
That's very reassuring. You've touched on your franchisor a few times back when you started. So just talk through the things that your franchisor did for you specifically to help you out in those early days.
So he being very experienced in the industry too, so a man full of a lot of knowledge, and he was there to support with the initial marketing of my territory. I had to do my final tick-offs with him on the road. So even though I was trained by someone, or his son, and he was always there in the background, ticking the boxes, making sure I was doing the right thing. And then I spent, I think, 3 or 4 days with him on the road. And basically it was follow-up phone calls every day. Oh, it's a while back now, but it would have been for quite some time. Not only that, if I got a job where I didn't really know what I was doing, or I hadn't actually received that particular training, like green pools or, a massive equipment problem, I just jumped straight on the phone to him, and he was available. Yeah, look, I've got a lot of respect for my ex-franchisor. He's a very knowledgeable man, and if it wasn't for his training and support, I wouldn't be here today. I actually spoke to him a little while ago about it, and he says, "Oh no, you're the one that did all the hard work." But actually, no. Yes, I did. But if it wasn't for him, yeah, the training was ongoing. Then we had franchisee meetings. We would have some suppliers talk, or him being experienced would actually do some training himself as well. But yeah, it was ongoing.
Fantastic. So let's fast forward now. You're a franchisor today, so you've effectively, loved the role that he was doing. You saw the opportunity, you bought the whole region. So at what point did you decide to make the transition from being a franchisee to a franchisor?
Yeah, I've been a franchisor now for 12, for about 14 months, 15 months. And when I started the business and I got settled, and when I say settled, I was sort of really comfortable in what I was doing, very super confident stuff, which admittedly after all your training takes, 8 to 12 months before you're really settling. One of my guys is coming up to 12 months now, actually, and you can see that he's just mellowed into this little chilled, comfortable sort of business owner, which makes me super proud. But so when I was growing, I always had a fascinating interest as to what the franchisor did. Like, I knew the support and the training and stuff like that, but what else does he do on a day-to-day basis, And coming from the background that I did before this, I love training people. I was a training officer and stuff like that. And I love helping people. And that's always been my passion since I was in nappies. That's what my mum used to tell me. You're just one of those people that are naturally born leader and a natural trainer. So I always had a little bit of a feel. And I thought, that might be something I want to do in 5 years' time, because I had a 5-year goal. Then I was sort of thinking, well, maybe there's some other regions that are available, in a couple of years' time, I'll snavel them up. And then the opportunity come that he had a goal himself to go to where he wanted to go, and then had an exit plan in place, and it was up for sale. And to be honest, I thought to myself, well, I don't really want anyone else coming in, so I'll grab it. I think I've got something I can contribute to the region. And that's what I did. And I still have my franchise as well. So, you know, there's a lot of divisions out there where they have a franchisee and then a franchisor, but the franchisor is not necessarily a working franchisor. So I'm a working franchisor. I run my franchise and my region at the same time. But it's just an opportunity that was on my goal plan for 5 years, but I actually grabbed it in, what, 3?
Wow.
So,
Well, first,
yeah.
Well, firstly, congratulations for overachieving. I mean, that's a wonderful story. And it's wonderful that Jim's provides the opportunity as well to come in, start at the bottom, be a franchisee. And then if you have that desire, then there's potential to be a franchisor. So you touched on that at the moment you're spending some of your time as a franchisee and some of your time as a franchisor. How do you manage your day?
Yeah. Look, I'm an honest bloke. I can't lie. It kills me to lie. So it's tough. It's I'll be honest. It's a hard gig at the moment. And look, I've got a very successful franchise. I have a staff member that helps me out as well. So he does a lot of the day-to-day servicing work, whereas I do a lot of the installations, the quoting, the green pools, all the more higher scale stuff. And with the region, yeah, we've got, including my franchise, there's 8 of us. It's a hard gig. It's waking up early of a morning, drinking lots of coffee. But not only that, being planned the night before, I spent a lot of time on the computer after work, replying to, you know, whether it's suppliers or my guys, or even, you know, inquiries or stuff like that. There's always something coming through, even from head office. So I probably spend 2 to 3 hours at the moment of an evening on the computer, you know, which is putting a bit of tension at home as well. So, but just on that, there's a reason for that. So when I was growing my franchise, I put 110% in it because I thought, well, if I've made a financial investment, I'm going to have a hard crack at this, and I'm going to work it hard for 2 years, which is what I did. And it was long hours, long days, paperwork, emails, marketing. So now, being a franchisor as well, I'm trying to do that same stuff, but I'm also on top of my other business. And to be honest, Tone, it's starting to wear me down. But this end of this financial year, last financial year, we did very well again in the franchise. And I've decided to set myself a goal. So I'm starting to change the way and my direction with my businesses. And luckily, I have a really good staff member. It took me 3 to get a good, decent one. So I trust him. I really trust my business with him. But I have a goal now to focus more on my region. So I'm starting to take a step back from growing my franchise. It's hurting me mentally to let go a little bit because unfortunately we're getting unserviced work. So there's the nice Jason that goes, I want to go help people and I should be taking these leads. These leads look bad. People are desperate and want gyms. And we're finding that more in our region, that people want gyms more so than our independents. And that's hurting me physically, mentally, the whole lot. But I need to stick on my goals. So it's a struggle every day. I'm not going to lie and say it's a walk in the park, but it's what I chose to do. And I'm finding that my franchisees are growing. They're successful. They're extremely happy with what they tell me. But no, actually, a lot of feedback from suppliers supports that. And that makes me proud. So that then makes me hungry to find more people to join a really, really good business and reap the rewards that these other guys have. So that's where my focus is now. But I've just got to work out a balance. I've almost found my balance, but it's a lot of hours. But I owe it to myself. I have another 5-year goal, so I've got to work hard to get to that.
Wonderful, wonderful. And, it's terrific that you've also been able to recruit someone on board to help you. And I think that's a great thing that perhaps a lot of people don't know about Jim's Pool Care, is that whilst you may start off being, on your own in the van or in the ute, you can, as you grow your business, look to recruit others to help you. And it sounds like maybe there's an opportunity to recruit some more, right? So as you spend more time focusing on your region and less time doing your franchise and mopping up some of those unserviced leads. But and look, it's one of those challenges, isn't it? Around at what point do I start to potentially go and recruit even more people? But it's wonderful that Jim's allows that potential.
Yeah. Just on that last bit again. Also, so even though I'm working hard and I'm trying to find a balance, the good thing with the gym system is it was hard going from a franchisee, having my franchisor behind me. If I was struggling, I'd be on the phone going, "Oh, what do I do?" And he'd walk me through it. Now that I'm the franchisor, I'm like, I can't call him anymore. But we have a divisional, Brett. So if I have a drama, Brett. So that's how I'm getting through it. With the staff, yes, the good thing about this is you can recruit. I have someone that's interested in a region, territory at the moment, and one of the questions was, eventually, am I allowed to have staff? And yes, there are guidelines behind that. You've got to make sure that they're going to represent you correctly. But it also takes certain individuals, to be honest, Tone, to have staff. It's a very challenging thing to manage. But if you win gold, and you're not going to win gold straight away, and you've got good staff, it's the best thing.
Well done. You touched on before that you're getting a lot of business because clients in your region and across the country are looking for gyms as opposed to the independent contractors or the independent businesses. Why do you think that's the case?
Well, it's a number of reasons. Quite a number of reasons in our region. I could go on for hours, to be honest. But look, the main key reasons is a few of the independents are no longer in business. Now, whether that's because they've retired or of just poor quality service. But the main reasons is if someone rings us and we take the lead and we tell them we're going to turn up, we turn up. That is one of the biggest things in most trades here in this part of my region and the pool industry is that people say they're going to turn up and they don't turn up. So our guys turn up, we're in uniform, we've got our van, it's all signed, written, and we're professional. And I think there's just more of a confidence brewing in the region that, these guys are reliable. It's amazing how many times on local chit-chat sites that I hear or see of, especially from clients that I go to, saying, how'd you get hold of us today? Oh, mate, your name's all over chit-chat because you're reliable and you turn up. And all my franchisees, there's not one of them, and that's just being honest, I'm not blowing smoke where it doesn't belong. They're good operators and they take a lot of pride because, if they don't turn up and do the job, well, then they don't eat. So brand awareness is growing. The more vans we have in our region too is another reason. So when I brought, funny story, when I brought my territory and then the franchisor rang me and said, I'm going to sell a territory and it's about 2 away from you, I went into this real defensive mode of, mate, no, don't put someone close to me. And I felt threatened. And a lot of people think or have this assumption of franchises that the franchisor is just hungry and he's going to put people everywhere, right, to ruin your business. Funny thing is, it did the complete opposite. The more we grow, the more vans. It's interesting. One of my ex-colleagues in the force lives in my region, and he's in the highway patrol. And he says to me, Jesus, you guys are everywhere. You must be growing. So visual appearance is probably one of the other key reasons for our growth in our region. And the unfortunate thing is it's growing too quick. We're getting a lot of unserviced work, which makes me nervous. And because all my guys, my franchisee team, love helping people, so they're just too busy.
So clearly it's an opportunity. So it's an opportunity for someone to come and join
Oh,
the Jim's Pool Care team, which leads me to the last question, which is, if someone's sitting at home and they're watching this video and they're on the edge, it's like, will I or won't I? What would your advice be to them?
the advice would probably be, part of the advice would be something I did for myself when I was looking, and I looked and looked and ummed and ahed and scratched and thought about it. And I thought, that's a lot of money. Just make the phone call. It's the thing that frustrates me, Tony, and I'm actually trying to find a way that I can help promote this, but there's a lot of bad media, a lot of bad press about franchising, and it's disgusting, to be honest. It's disgusting what some people or some organisations are doing for their franchisees or not doing, and it's hurt a lot of people. So franchising's got a bit of a bruise, and that may be a reason why someone's sitting there going, should I, shouldn't I? Oh, look, and then their mates will be watching the media and they'll be going, oh, don't go a franchise. And I actually had friends of mine say, you shouldn't go a franchise group. All they do is make the top person, rich, and they'll suck everything out of you. That's actually incorrect. So if someone's out there looking and going, should I, shouldn't I? Just make the inquiry and have a chat. We're all approachable. And the best thing about the gyms group is go and spend half a day in the van with one of our guys. Is the best thing that you can do for yourself. Even if you're still on the fence and you think to yourself, oh, shouldn't I? That will make your decision. Because from a franchisor's point of view also, I'm not really interested in people who want to come into the business to be rich. You've got to love what you're doing. If someone comes in just to make money and doesn't enjoy what they do every day, well, then that's a reflection on me as the franchisor, which then I have Jim's group down my throat thinking, well, what have you done? Because I find that people who have a passion are the ones who succeed, and then the ones who enjoy the business. So back to your original question, if there's someone that's thinking about it, or may not even have thought of pool care, just make the inquiry. It's not scary. We're not going to be down your throat going, you must buy, you must buy. We're all pretty genuine people here. And it costs you nothing, just a bit of time and a bit of dedication to fill out an inquiry form or to make the phone call and to just spend half a day with one of our team. Because I personally won't sell a franchise unless someone's been out in a van, because I want to make sure, and 9 times out of 10, Tone, to be honest, it's with me. Because I want to make sure that they're the right fit as well, and make sure that they're going to enjoy the business. Because if you enjoy it, it's the world's your oyster. Take the plunge.
A couple of,
Just
you've heard it here first.
do
Take the
it.
plunge. A couple of things out of that is that, firstly, it's a two-way street. That is, just because someone's interested doesn't necessarily mean they're the right fit for what it is that Jim's Pool Care is trying to do. And the other thing, which is so important, is when you love what you do, you'll never work another day again in your life. And when you love what you do, then the successes will come, like you said, as opposed to those who tend to go for the money. And certainly with what I do in business coaching, they tend to get burnt out very quickly, whereas it's a journey. It's a journey, it's a process, and it takes time. So wonderful advice. Hey, listen, this has been terrific, Jay. I mean, I could talk to you all day, but I mean, it's been wonderful. First, I want to say thank you for giving up your time to share your knowledge and your story as well around Jim's Pool Care and how you transitioned not only into Jim's Pool Care as a franchisee, but now as a franchisor. So firstly, thank you for that. And also congratulations on all the success that you've had to date. And, you've mentioned the word goals a number of times, and that's obviously music to my ears, because it sounds like there's even more excitement to come for you into the future. So thank you, and I wish you all the very best, mate, into the future.
Yeah, look, and, with that last question, to take the plunge, make that your first goal. And if you tick that first goal, you'd be surprised where it goes. But yeah, I appreciate it, Tone. More than happy to help.
Thanks, Jason. Really appreciate it. Bye, mate.